Developments coming in and more breaking news that we're tracking at the moment. 30 are still missing as the rescue operations are currently underway. Now remember, all night long we saw rescue operations continue, and the army personnel, in more news we're tracking, are now trying to move the excavator towards the holy cave. Yesterday, remember, the army attempted to airlift this machine but faced difficulties, and once these machines reach the spot, it will certainly help the rescue teams to speed up the operation. Let me go across to Ishan, who's been tracking more on this from ground zero since the very first hour, joining us on this broadcast once again. Ishan, good afternoon to you. What's happening there? Army personnel, we are being told, are now trying to move the excavator towards the holy cave. How successful have they been so far?
Well, the engineering unit of the Indian Army is trying their level best to move these small excavators to that location to make sure that every kind of material is moved there and no one is left behind. The message from the Army is that they will do all possible help and try to take every piece of equipment to the cave so that early rescue could be possible. We already know the number is between 30 to 40 of the missing person, and that is why time is of essence, and that is why the operations have also been speed up. Yesterday, we saw several sorties by the Indian Army, BSF, and other forces who made sure that all the necessary gadgets are able to deliver them. One, because there is no road connectivity. It's a small way through mountains, and then you have to trek for several kilometers. Now they're trying to send more men and machinery to that area so that all this material which has come down, rocks, and also the sort of material that has come down has actually become more tough, and that is why it's becoming more difficult for them to go through that and then take out any person who is inside, because now more time is passing, and that is what is making it difficult for them to assess if there are possibilities or chances of those who are under these debris, if they are surviving, they are alive or not. But sniffer dogs have been used. They have been providing a vital clue, precise location, and then there are gadgets, scanners, which are being used to scan the entire thing that has come down and check where they are. Yatra has been halted. Yatris have been told to remain stationed at their camps, and they're not allowed to move out. One, because of that some Yatris might try to go from that route. That is why it has been completely sealed. Media has been kept off because operations are a main focus for the government and the administration as of now, because several of them are missing. Remember, as I was reporting earlier, there were more than 300 people who were performing Aarti when that incident took place, and that is what saved most of the lives. And only those who were coming down after going to Amarnath cave had started to rest at that place, because this climb is very steep. There are several staircases that you have to go and climb, and that is when this entire process happened. It took only 15 minutes. The entire episode unfolded. Though there were sirens and whistles by CRPF men who are deployed there, but they couldn't hear it and did not get out on time. And now the operations are in full swing, where not only the Army, but ITBP, NDRF, SDRF, J&K police and CRPF are completely scanning the area. But one just hopes that the Yatra resumes, because the Yatra track has not been damaged. That is a good news. Only slippery conditions are there. The weather has started to improve, and now they are going to look for the survivors. But remember, it might take a couple of more days for the operation to get concluded, because it's a mammoth task, and a magnitude of this is huge. It's a difficult terrain to operate on. Then the weather also gets changes within 15-20 minutes. So that is why the operations are becoming difficult. But yes, the government says there's no need to panic. They are making sure that the Yatra resumes once again.
Absolutely. A couple of challenges ahead for all those engaged in rescue operations, and those visuals of a daring rescue operation currently underway by the Indian Armed Forces, who are trying to now drag that excavator that weighs 3 tons, being pulled by 12 men of the Engineer Regiment of the Indian Army. Ishan, stay on with us. Let's quickly put out another ground report filed by you earlier on.
Rescue operations continue at the Amarnath Shrine Cave. Since the cloudburst happened, it actually made a lot of tents vanish, and since then operations have been continuing. Officials have put the number of deaths to 14, and those who were injured are around 74. They have been treated, some of them discharged, some of them having minor injuries. Some of them who are critical, we are told by sources, are around 8. But they are being treated at the medical facilities. Many of them were airlifted from this helipad behind me. There were multiple sorties carried out by the Indian Army yesterday here at this airfield, and since then the operations continue. Though today the search is on, but no operation helicopter-bound operations have taken place. All the tools and equipments were taken to that location yesterday. Now, to make sure that they are able to get all the people, they have taken, special equipment, sniffer dogs and other gadgets have been also taken to the location. Because of it being a rugged terrain and a difficult terrain, a lot of equipment cannot go there. So that is why the operations continue to find out more survivors. But as the time passes, it's becoming difficult for people to survive because a lot of stones and, mud that it brought with itself has made operations difficult. With camera person Shafiq Malik, Ishanwani reporting from Baltal for Times Now. Rescue operations continue at the Amarnath Shrine Cave. Since the cloudburst happened, it actually made a lot of tents vanish, and since then operations have been continuing. Officials have put the number of deaths to 14, and those who were injured are around 74. They have been treated, some of them discharged, some of them having minor injuries. Some of them who are critical, we are told by sources, are around 8. But they are being treated at the medical facilities. Many of them were airlifted from this helipad behind me. There were multiple sorties carried out by the Indian Army yesterday here at this airfield, and since then the operations continue. Though today the search is on, but no operation helicopter-bound operations have taken place. All the tools and equipments were taken to that location yesterday. Now, to make sure that they are able to get all the people, they have taken, special equipment, sniffer dogs and other gadgets have been also taken to the location. Because of it being a rugged terrain and a difficult terrain, a lot of equipment cannot go there. So that is why the operations continue to find out more survivors. But as the time passes, it's becoming difficult for people to survive because a lot of stones and, mud that it brought with itself has made operations difficult.
Ishan continues to stay on with us. Ishan, you've been interacting with some of the officials also who are overseeing the rescue operations. What are they anticipating? How much more time will the rescue operations take before they conclude?
Well, to be honest, they don't have answers for this because there has been a lot of stones and a lot of mud which has come down, and going through that, it has toughened the entire material which is there. Once the rain stopped and sun came out, it made it even more difficult. Why? Because that particular material that came out became more hardened and toughened, and it is difficult to go through that. We also have shared a visual of how the men from the forces are trying to remove part of a tent from that, and they are not able to pull it. So it will take a couple of days for them to actually go to those places and take those precise locations out where sniffer dogs are trying to provide a vital clue. Two, they are now also going to assess the top of that cave. One, because they feel that there could be a water body which may be responsible for flash flood, or whether it's a cloud burst, they're not sure. But initially it is being seen as a cloud burst, or whether there's some sort of a water body. When, continuous rains fall, it gets filled, and then there's a water discharge from that particular location. And this similar scenes were witnessed in 2019, if I'm not wrong, when Yatra was suspended. Luckily back then nobody was hurt or injured because there were no tents, and the Yatra was suspended, and that's why, to make sure that they are going to see whether helicopter can operate at such a height, and then if not, then if they can take a drone around that particular vicinity and check the entire area whether that is true or whether it was a cloud burst. But right now the focus is on the rescue operation. The focus is to take out people. The focus is to make sure that all the gadgets reach there. The focus is also to make these men who are there, SDRF, NDRF and other teams who are there, to give them best of equipment that is available with the government of India, and dispatch them to Kashmir and send them to the cave and make sure that not only the relief and rehabilitation but also the rescue of people is possible. But every person who was injured, every person who had died unfortunately there, they have been taken out of that area. People who were stranded at the cave, the entire cave area has been emptied. There are no pilgrims right now, only the forces are operating. They have been moved down to Panchtari, and from yesterday, from Panchtari, when the weather improved, they were shifted to the main base. So yes, the operations are smooth for them, but difficult because the terrain is high, mountainous. Whether the gadgets they are bringing there, like earth movers, small earth movers, whether they will be able to operate them there or not, that is something tricky. But that is the main and big option.
Yes.
They are trying to dig and dig using hand and and shovels, and that is the main operational part right now.
Ishan, it goes without saying that despite enough men and machinery being pressed into action, the rescue operation is extremely difficult to conduct due to the inclement weather and also the muddy terrain hampering efforts to rescue the stranded and the injured people. Stay on with us. Let's quickly put out more reactions as we've spoken to some of the people also who were a part of this yatra to get a first-hand account of how the tragedy unfolded. Listen in.
आप कहाँ पे रुके थे रात को और कितने बजे वहाँ से निकले तो अभी आप यहाँ पहुँचे?
5 बजे दर्शन कर लिए थे। 5 बजे दर्शन करने के बाद तुरंत निकले थे कि रुकना नहीं है यहाँ पे, तुरंत चलते हैं। फिर पानी गिरना शुरू हो गया था, लेकिन प्रशासन कह रहा था मत जाओ अभी, लेकिन सब बहुत लोगों भीड़ गए। उन्होंने कहा ठीक है जाइए आप लोग। जब उन्होंने चले गए आगे थोड़ा गए तो पानी और तेज़ हो गया था पुल के पास, ओले भी गिरने लगे रास्ते में पूरी तरीके। हम लोग पूरे कपड़े वपड़े सब अंदर तक पूरे गीले हैं और बहुत हालत ख़राब। मिलिट्री वालों का जल्दी दौड़ दौड़ के यहाँ से निकालिए क्योंकि यहाँ पे कभी भी हादसा हो सकता है लंबा।
तो 20 लोग तो हमारे संपर्क में है, बाकी जो है वो 10 लोगों का अभी संपर्क हमको नहीं हो पा रहा है। हम इस सबसे बात कर रहे हैं, मिलिट्री से इससे बात कर रहे हैं, तो और आपने भी एक नंबर हेल्पलाइन नंबर दिया है, उससे भी अभी लगा रहे तो भी अभी तक कुछ हो नहीं पा रहा है।
After cloudburst at the Amarnath shrine, around that vicinity, a lot of pilgrims were moved out. The entire area was emptied and they were moved to different camps, including Panchtarni, where thousands of them were then kept, so as to make sure that if there are more cloudbursts, there is no loss of life. And right now what we are showing you are the exclusive visuals of now them who were there at that time coming down. Now this is the last stretch of road where trekking ends, and this is from where most of them have come. They were there since yesterday, and today the permission has been given to them to move back, and after completing that they have come here and are moving. Now these are the exclusive visuals that we are getting to you, the only channel who has managed to reach here. You can see many of them are coming down using horses, and now they will be safe here. Yesterday many of them were moved by them, and today they are on their way to their respective homes, and this will be definitely a sigh of relief for them, because many of them were at that particular location when the cloudburst took place.
Well, in view of the cloudburst incident, the Amarnath Yatra has been temporarily suspended. However, there are a few pilgrims who are still waiting at the Baltal base camp for it to recommence. They're waiting for the situation to normalize further. Listen to what they had to say.
यात्रा का बहुत उत्साह है, लेकिन कल की जो घटना हुई है, सुनी गई है, वो बहुत ही दुखद है। और अभी भी यहाँ पर सबके अंदर काफ़ी जोश और उत्साह है दर्शन का, और भोले बाबा उम्मीद है सबको अपने अच्छे दर्शन देंगे।
बिहार से आए हुए हैं, हम लोग 32 लोग हैं, मगर वही हम लोग का उत्साह, वही साहस है। हम लोग बाबा को दर्शन करने निश्चित जाएंगे। यहाँ पर सुरक्षा की व्यवस्था बहुत पुख्ता है, इसमें कोई नहीं है, मगर हम लोग का धैर्य है, बहुत साहस है। बाबा को भले 1 दिन 2 दिन वेट लगेगा, मगर हम लोग जाएंगे बाबा को दर्शन करने के लिए, मगर निश्चित जाएंगे बाबा को दर्शन करने के लिए।
देखिए, जब जिसके साथ जो होना होगा, हो सकता है हम खड़े खड़े यहीं हमारे साथ कुछ हो जाए, तो वो तो सिर्फ एक बात हो गई कि वहाँ पर, बल्कि वो अच्छा है वो सीधा भगवान के द्वार चले गए। ये हर कोई चाहता है, उनके चरणों में चले गए सीधा। जोश देख लीजिए, जोश सभी में बराबर ही है। हमें भी बहुत खेद है कि हमारे साथी जो वहाँ और जो हमारे खासकर हमारे फोर्स वाले जो ये सेवा दे रहे हैं, ये इनको वाकई सैल्यूट है।
हाँ, दुख भी है साथ में कि जो हुआ है घटना, जिसमें लोग जो गए हैं उनके परिवार वालों के लिए थोड़ा सा दुख है, लेकिन हम में वही उत्साह है। हम तो वेट कर रहे हैं कि कितना जल्दी खुले और हम कितने जल्दी जा करके बाबा भोलेनाथ का दर्शन करें।
मेरे अंदर वही उत्साह है, और जो ये स्वर्ग है, और लोग मरने के बाद स्वर्ग जाते हैं, हम जीते जी स्वर्ग में जा रहे हैं, और जो बाबा करेंगे वो अच्छा ही होगा, जो भोला करेंगे वो सब अच्छा ही होगा।
तूफान आ जाए या कोई भी तूफान आ जाए, हम बाबा का दर्शन करने के लिए जाएंगे ही।
Well, in fact, the rescue operation at Holy Cave is underway. We are being told that the army, along with other forces and other agencies and organizations that are taking part in this rescue operations, are trying to, in a way, trace those missing pilgrims who are said to be missing. They're doing it manually because the cloudburst has triggered a flash flood, and it has brought that material that's solidifying naturally, and it's getting a bit difficult for the security forces, for the those organizations who are conducting this rescue operation at the site. Now we are being told that the Jammu and Kashmir government, in fact the Indian Army and other organizations, will be inducting some machinery. Yesterday they had attempted, but they failed. There was some kind of a problem that they faced in airlifting that those JCBs. Now today they will again try to induct that machinery. Apart from that, Indian Army has already deployed some thermal imaging devices and radars. They are conducting that rescue operation. Apart from that, there's a number of pilgrims who are staying up at Baltal base camp, and they are waiting for their turn. You can see they are very enthusiastic, and they are about to authorities planning they will visit the Josh. In fact, is certainly high among these people. I will quickly try to get some among them. Let's speak them. आप कहाँ से कब से आप यहाँ पे हैं, और क्या आप यात्रा जाने के लिए तैयार हैं अगर आप ऐसे अनुमति मिलती है?
जैसे अनुमति मिलेगी हम यात्रा करेंगे। 23 साल से यात्रा कर रहे हैं। रेगुलर भी 23वीं यात्रा है। 2 साल कोरोना की वजह से यात्रा नहीं हुई और हर साल आते हैं।
आपका क्या नाम है, कहाँ से आप?
मेरा नाम राजेश मिश्रा है, उज्जैन नागदा MP में। हम लोग भी यात्रा के लिए आए हैं और बस वेट करेंगे कि जब भी चालू हम यात्रा करके ही वापस जाएंगे।
जो घटना हुई इससे कोई मनोबल में फर्क नहीं पड़ा?
नहीं, बिल्कुल नहीं।
So the pilgrims, in fact, here who are staying up at this Baltal base camp are waiting for the government announcement. So far, the administration has made it clear that their primary focus remains rescue operation. There will be a relief work as well. So far, the Holy Cave area has been emptied. No pilgrim is being allowed to move into that area. In fact, the yatra remains suspended, and the government will take take call on this after concluding the rescue operation. So primary focus remains the rescue operation, and today we'll be seeing that the Indian Army, Indian Air Force also conducting some more sorties and inducting more machinery for the rescue operation at Holy Cave.
Well, no bodies have been recovered through the night as the rescue operations went on non-stop. Ishan, thanks for staying with us. We'll keep coming back to you as our top focus remains on the rescue work that is underway and on a war footing. Slipping to a very short break here. Be right back.